Meghan Markle's name is trending once more, which is shocking, but this time it's not because of a new project or a press-pleasing public appearance. Instead, everything is rapidly going south. It all began with this Instagram video, which she likely believed would be her big break, but it backfired and didn't go well. These two have sold their souls, and they sold Harry's family down the river. It's unforgivable and will leave a bitter taste in the mouths of millions of people. They sank into a media circus studios, backing away fans, jumping ship executives panicking. Meghan's career, or whatever was left of it, is now in full-on meltdown mode. One of them was frequently brought to tears by Meghan Markle's bullying. And if Meghan doesn't believe she bullied, she may sue me because I've already mentioned it. Let's go back a little. Meghan marketed her film as an uplifting, humorous, relatable moment about parenthood. At the very least, she wanted to share her sense of humor and perspective on being a mother with the world. Mom, and perhaps remind everyone that she's still relevant, but what actually appeared on people's screens felt really strange. It had a cheesy try-hard vibe, complete with awkward dance moves and what appeared to be a baby bump that had more questions than answers. Instead of laughing with her, people raised their eyebrows and asked, "What the hell did you just watch?" Backlash came quickly, and it wasn't just trolls. Real executives from firms like Netflix and Paramount began to fear. Meghan's docu-series With Love was on Netflix, and the streaming service unexpectedly found itself in the midst of a public relations maelstrom. According to reports, Ted Sarandos, who is typically more understanding, and CEO Greg Peters weren't having it and were firmly pushing back behind the scenes. Meghan was reportedly beginning to doubt things. While it's one thing to back a public figure through controversy, it's quite another when that controversy makes your entire platform look ridiculous. Paramount wasted no time in cutting off all ties with her, and other studios are either slowly backing away or ghosting her. This video didn't help. On the contrary, it confirmed what many people had already begun to whisper. Meghan Markle's public image is no longer an asset, but a liability. She is trying to avoid getting caught up in the drama cloud that has been following her lately. It's as if everyone finally realized that whatever magic she had when she first came onto the scene is just gone. In the midst of all this chaos, Meghan, being Meghan, didn't just remain silent, she doubled down. She released a statement attempting to explain the entire purpose of the video, stating that it was about proving herself to the world, particularly to critics who questioned her as a mother. She said she wanted people to know that motherhood didn't take away her sense of purpose. She still has something to say and deserves to be heard because of her humor and personality. But the problem is that just because you say something with conviction, people won't believe you. The internet saw a woman who was trying too hard to be both eccentric and inspirational at the same time. And it didn't work out. In fact, it backfired so badly that even fans who had previously defended her. You could practically hear people thinking, wait, this is what we've been supporting. And now with Love Meghan Season 2 hanging by a thread as they began to scratch their heads. Netflix is worried since even her core fan base doesn't appear interested, and test screenings apparently ruined the reaction. Some labeled it downright unwatchable. Meghan may still think she's here to teach the world something, but it seems like no one is really interested in listening. The most bizarre aspect of all of this is how certain Meghan Markle seems to be that she's the misunderstood hero in some heartwarming coming-of-age tale. In her most recent public statements, she presented the entire pregnancy video controversy as a through, like she was doing a public service by sending a message to all parents. She expressed things such as motherhood is powerful and that too many people lose their joy and humor after having children. She therefore made it her mission to represent joyful, carefree parenting in a world full of grumpy people. The human predicament that all of my pals share, who are now mothers. I cannot recall anyone who has stated, "Oh wow, it's exactly what I expected. I'm nailing it. It's so good. I know exactly what I'm doing, and this child has fitted seamlessly into my pre-existing life, which has required no changes at all." Yes, it is noble, but only if it had landed the way she had hoped. It felt self-centered and gave off a severe tone-deaf sense rather than being uplifting, which led to parents feeling alienated rather than empowered. The fact that her audience isn't interested in lectures or abstract messages wrapped in an odd Instagram performance is something Meghan doesn't seem to understand. It's not only ordinary people who have had enough, either behind closed doors or in real life. When someone who lives in a multi-million-dollar home tries to pretend that she's just another struggling mother figuring it out. Netflix is experiencing some difficulties. According to reports, Greg Peters is enraged within and has been working hard to completely separate the platform from Meghan. But the issue is, according to insiders, the board is divided. And Ted Sarandos, who has been far more forgiving of her for reasons no one really understands, is still supporting her involvement even if he is beginning to falter under pressure. Others want to wait and see whether public opinion miraculously changes, but spoilers indicate that it won't. What's even more problematic is that Meghan isn't backing off. Rumors have it that she's frantically trying to shop around.
She's reportedly pitching ideas to MTV and Disney in the hopes that one of them will take a chance on her next big project, which might have worked a year ago, but now that everything has happened, most executives are probably afraid to even answer her calls. She's no longer a cultural talking point, to be a professional risk, and the industry is aware of this. To make matters worse, fans are abandoning her in greater numbers than before. Those who once defended her online by reposting her interviews and applauding her for being genuine are now removing their posts and abandoning her, which is a warning sign that no PR team can ignore. Even on social media, her posts are receiving
The comments that used to be full of heart emojis and Yoast Queen energy are now more critical than supportive, accusing her of being fake, preachy, or out of touch. What happened to that baby bump? People online couldn't stop pointing out how strange it looked, how the shape kept changing, and how the positioning seemed strange. Conspiracy theories went viral. Was it a ploy or was it real? In any case, it didn't help her case. Rather than boosting her confidence or sympathy, it made people uncomfortable. Once people begin to question your honesty, the damage spreads quickly. Meghan continues to insist that this is her truth and that this is how she expresses herself, and she won't allow critics to quiet her, but the truth is that no one is attempting to do so. They simply don't want to hear it anymore. Being tuned out and being silenced are two very different things, and at the moment she is being loudly tuned out. Meghan's rebellion hasn't slowed down, if anything, and she's more outspoken than ever. She recently gave a podcast-style monologue in which she was the only speaker and asked no questions. The narcissism alarm bells really began to ring after she spent almost an hour talking into a microphone and in typical Meghan fashion, began referring to herself in the third person. The world hasn't seen the real Meghan yet, she said, as if she were setting up some sort of character arc. Rather than responding to the criticism with humility or self-awareness, she leaned into the as if parenting advice from someone with a gated estate, a nanny team, and media handlers somehow resonates with everyday moms and dads juggling 3 jobs and public school drop-offs. She reaffirmed her belief that it is her mission to teach others how to raise children properly, arguing that everyone else is mistaken and simply doesn't understand it. Her message could have been more effective if it sounded like someone trying to keep relevant rather than someone attempting to assist, even though it was somewhat relatable. The friction that exists behind the scenes with Netflix is what's making things worse. According to reports, Meghan is lobbying Ted Sarandos to approve a 3rd season of With Love Meghan, despite the fact that the 2nd one has already aired and is in. According to various sources, she is using every bit of her power to keep the show continuing. However, some people are even wondering that she and Ted are involved in more than just a business arrangement. This has not been confirmed, but the whispers are circulating. Greg Peters, meantime, is reportedly urging Netflix's board to limit their internal gaming. A streaming behemoth like Netflix continuing to invest in a show that can't even hold its core audience is a huge red flag, and now they're stuck in this awkward situation. Losses from a business perspective make sense. The Season 2 test screenings were reportedly a disaster, with viewers calling the episodes hollow, self-indulgent, and tone-deaf. Even Meghan's most devoted fans weren't impressed. Things don't appear to be getting much better outside of boardrooms as people are caught between loyalty, politics, and public opinion. When the people who once supported your story now treat you like tabloid fodder, Meghan's public image is taking a serious hit. Late-night shows have begun to use her as a punchline, and internet reaction is harsh. Even the media outlets that previously supported Meghan's every step are retreating. Usually it marks the start of the end. The unfortunate thing is that she still thinks this is a comeback story and acts as though the world is being cruel and that things will change eventually. However, the more she talks, the more harm she causes. There isn't a planned redemption arc developing or an immediate wave of sympathy approaching. Instead, it's more like a slow collapse. A public breakdown of a person who doesn't read the room, followed by the release of Season 2 of With Love Meghan, with little to no advertising. There is no fanfare. Just a subdued, cautious vibe emanating from Netflix as if they are preparing for an effect. Rumor has it that Meghan has given the new season her all in an attempt to re-establish herself. But let's face it, if the response to her... It appears that Meghan Markle is shouting into a void that no one is listening to anymore, and if the viral video is any indicator, no amount of rebranding will change what people already believe. Sometimes when the public goes on, they really move on.